In the morning, she woke up, she said to me, "Mommy, I can't walk." I said, "What do you mean you can't walk?" She said, "I can't walk." So I went inside the room, and when I looked, is the right side of her. She had a stroke.
Love you like mango. Better you give me some loving. See how far we can go.
Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel, and today, as you see, we have a special guest. It's Mama Bear. So we're just gonna have a little chit chat and gonna share some insight into sickle cell anemia today, and what we went through as a family regarding that dreadful disease. Sickle cell anemia. What's this all about? It is an inherited red blood cell disorder in which there aren't enough healthy red blood cells to carry oxygen throughout your body. As seen in this picture, the flexible round red blood cells move easily through blood vessels, while in sickle cell anemia, the red blood cells are shaped like sickles or crescent moons. These rigid, sticky cells can get stuck in small blood vessels, which can slow or block blood flow and oxygen to parts of the body. For more information, please visit www.mayoclinic.org. So, Mommy, welcome to my channel.
Thank you. Hello everyone, I'm Mama Bear.
Okay. Just so you know, Mama Bear works hard behind the scenes. She is #1 cheerleader. She's ensuring that people are subscribing and watching. And, I just want to say a big thanks for that. So, yeah. Hey guys, let's not disappoint Mama Bear today. Please subscribe, click that notification bell so that you'll be notified when I upload a new video. And please like and share. Thank you. How you feel to be on my channel today?
Well, feel blessed or highly favored to be on YouTube. Not something I like though, but for this one I'll participate in this one.
Yeah, Mommy is a behind the scenes person and not a camera person. She don't like take picture, all them things there. So it's a big thing for Sarah to sit down here today. No, Mommy, people say we favor. Like everywhere I go, people always say, "Look alike him, man, look alike so bad." Actually, what do you think?
Sometimes when I look in the mirror, sometimes I see you in myself, but sometimes I don't really see it. But people see it more than I do. Not too much. I don't see too much.
Well, yeah, we don't see either. As you said, sometimes probably if I comb my hair a certain way, or I will see, like we said, "Jim, look like Joni. Oh my gosh." Oh, by the way, as I said that, people don't know your name. Some people know, some people don't know. So, what's your name? Just go by first name, that's fine.
My name is Joan.
Okay, so Joan and Karen. Okay. Hopefully, maybe one day I will get Daddy on with me. Daddy is a behind the scenes person and Daddy is busy working. So, maybe one day. Today we're talking about a particular topic, which is sickle cell. And the reality is that it's not really talked about a lot, yet many persons suffer from it. So we usually hear about like cancer or diabetes or hypertension, those diseases, but we rarely hear about, well, I personally rarely hear about sickle cell. And I recall an incident once. I think it was last year when I was in Japan, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna test again to see if I have this sickle cell disease. So I went to the doctor and I said, do you test for sickle cell disease? And even though it was a Japanese doctor, he studied abroad, so he was familiar with, English and all that stuff. And it took him a while to really say, like, he had to research about what I was talking about. So then and there, I realized that, it's something that affects a certain group of people. So, for example, Asians, you won't really find it in a lot of Asians, but mostly probably the blacks and the black race, basically. I would have to do some research to see if it's among the Caucasian or any other culture, but I know it's prevalent among our black race. So, we just want to shed some our experience and how it affected our family. Okay, so I have a question for you. Do you have sickle cell? Like sickle cell disease, sickle cell trait, whatever. Let me know let the people know what you have.
Well, I have a sickle cell trait. The trait of it. Yeah.
Okay. Does Daddy have the trait as well?
Yes.
Wow. So you have sickle cell trait, Daddy have the trait. How did you get the trait? Is it something that's hereditary?
Yes, from your parents are way down, but it's hereditary.
So do you know anyone in your family who has it? Like your father or your mother?
I really don't know because I didn't grow up with them, so I really don't know. But most likely, probably one of them have it or way back. So I come with the trait.
Okay, all right. So you said it's hereditary. So both of you guys have the trait. What does that mean for your children?
So as explained before, both of my parents, they have the sickle cell trait, and that's represented by NS or AS. Some charts they have AS. For this chart, it's NS. Now, when both parents have the sickle cell trait, the chances with each pregnancy are 1 in 4 that a child will have the normal hemoglobin, which is represented by NN or AA. And 2 in 4 chances that a child will have a sickle cell trait. Here we have represented by NS, or some graphs will have AS. And 1 in 4 that a child will have the sickle cell anemia, which is SS. And that is what my sister had. I will provide a link in the description box so that you can read up some more about it in your own time.
How did you know that you had sickle cell?
When I was pregnant with my first child, which is Kasian, you have to go do some tests, run tests. So I do a blood test and it shows up that I had sickle cell trait. And I remember my sister said to me, wow, dangerous disease, But don't worry, Silver don't have it, which is my husband don't have it, so my probably don't have it. So this missed from my mind until when I have the child. At a certain age.
Wait. You're not going to tell people when you have your child. Come on now. When you had your first child?
I had my first child 1986, December 7th, 1986. Kasian was born.
How old were you?
I was 21.
You have to say 21.
21.
So, well, let's back up a bit. And then 1 year later, they had Kasian. All right, continue.
While growing up, she didn't see any sickness at all. Nothing at all. Okay. Nothing was really wrong with her. She grew up good. Only thing we really saw is like she take long to do things like walking. It take a year for her to walk.
Wow.
And the girl said something was really wrong, but we didn't really know what was going on. So we said sometimes some children takes long to walk. So it never really bothered us to say it's a sickle cell thing. Until when she was 3 years old, Daddy Bear, is my husband, was going to the airport to pick up his aunt. So he decided to take her with him. And she loves to go out. She loves to drive out. So she was so happy for that. And he went with
She went with him.
She went with him, and when they came back home and everything was fine. But in the morning she woke up, she said to me, "Mommy, I can't walk." I said, "What do you mean you can't walk?" She said, "I can't walk." So I went inside the room, and when I looked, is the right side of her, she had a stroke.
Wow.
Her right side. Not much life in it. But it, and I said to my, I didn't even remember about the sickle cell. But there was a nurse beside us who lives beside us, and I answered her and said, go on, ask the nurse. So when I went over to ask the nurse said to me, "Do you have sickle cell in your family?"
Wow.
And that's when it comes back to me. He said, "Yes." So he said, "Go and check the child. Go take the child to the doctor and check what she has." And she had sickle cell. SS, full-blown sickle cell disease. But she comes around little by little, but she comes around little by little. Could walk again, but her hand, she didn't use back her right hand, writing. She started to use her left hand, and she come around. And
So you said she was 3 at this time?
There was 3.
Oh, wow.
But apparently the day when they went to the airport, but it was too hot. Probably it was too hot for her. So she couldn't manage, and probably they going up and down, moving up and down, walking up and down. And she had sickle cell, easy to be dehydrated, and that's possible where she get the, coming out with the strokes.
Wow. So she was fine up until 3 years old.
Yeah.
You didn't know it was the sickle cell that had caused this. So by this time, Daddy had tested to confirm that he had it.
Daddy didn't test because once she has this full blown, she knows that he have it, because if it's all me alone, she wouldn't come with the SS.
Okay.
So she would just come with the trait, or not at all. But once it's both of us.
Well, let's continue with that story. What happened? Because, did she have to go to the hospital for any treatment or anything? What was her treatment like?
There was not really treatment at the time, because you just go and give a checkup, but there was not. I think he used to give us some fluoric, yes, acid tablets and take it. But there's nothing much at that time doctor could do for her. So I just go every time to give a checkup until they put her on the UE sickle cell clinic. So I was to go there once a year until it started every 6 months. It was coping, keep living, but one side of her, the left side started to grow a bit more than she walk and tip. Walk and tip. You should know because she walk and tip.
From my recollection, I can remember up until from 5 years old. When we were going to school, she would always walk and tip. Persons would ask, "Oh, is your sister? What happened to her foot?" They used to call her tippy toe. People used to give her the name like tippy toe or whatever. But, she was a kind of person where she was always laughing.
Yes.
No matter what, she just always a laugh, and she was just always joyful, But one thing though, if she run me down, if we're playing and she run me down and she can't catch me, that me and myself have a peer pinch me again. She always, it's almost like, I still feel a pinch them to this day. Once she catch me, she will pinch me up, because in a fear mind, me younger, and she should not win. And she was, as much as, she was the eldest one. I mean, I couldn't sit on her mommy lap or that lap, no, she was almost a baby, and I'm assuming it's because she was sick.
Yes.
That, she needed more attention, You had to bring her to the clinics for all these checkups and so forth. What was going through your mind as a parent? How are you feeling? where do you think? Were you saying, no, we haven't pick me come with sickle cell? Why me? Like, what were you thinking when you hear your child diagnosed with this disease? And especially in those days, you never really have the equipment that they have now to help you. How were you feeling?
It was hard. It was hard. It was hard to digest, your first child sickly. For you see your first child, you expect big things for your child, and to know that she comes with a disease she's deadly. But you trust God and you just see how it goes each day.
Wow.
And she always, as I say, jovial, nothing bother her. But when she didn't started going to school, she was so sickly. Every minute you go to school to pick her up, she's even have a fever, or she just sick. She was just sickly, but doesn't deter her from being joyful and happy. And it's also that it was so bad that her spleen get infected also. So she have nothing in her to
fight the
infection much, And at one point they want to take her to her stance, and I said no, because that's the only thing she have left to fight any form of
disease,
yeah,
bacteria.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just leave it alone. But so when we keep taking her to the doctor, until doctor said to me, I'm gonna give her 1 year worth of blood transfusion.
Yeah, blood. So she had to do blood transfusion.
Blood transfusion, 1 year. But the doctor said after the 1 year, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee after the 1 year. And so we did the blood transfusion for the 1 year, and she was so she that's the best of her. The 1 year, yes, because she didn't sick. She didn't feel sick at all. She didn't sick. But after the 1 year, that's where it started. It go down the drain.
So why couldn't she have continued the blood transfusion after the year?
I don't think they could do blood transfusion each continuously. It have to be just a year, probably break. But she didn't last long after the blood transfusion finished. She didn't last long because I think she took sick in December. She always took sick in December and took her to the hospital.
Is it because like December is like a colder time, so it affected her bones, or because I know persons who are anemic, they don't do well with the cold.
No, yeah. Once you get cold, they tend to get sick at the coldest time, So I don't know. She was at her grandma, so I was working, and she was at grandma, and uncle came up and said she's sick, and so we went down for her and took her to the hospital. But while in the hospital, it looked like she got a neck stroke in the hospital at that time, and that's where you know that her head she get a bad stroke in the dangerous one in the hospital. It was so bad that her neck just leaked down, her hand, her foot.
So she was like a vegetable, now she couldn't move.
Not yet. She wasn't really a vegetable yet at that time, but she could talk and everything. But you could know that it was bad. It was really bad. And at that time, it was a holiday. There was not much doctors at the hospital.
Christmas time.
Yes. And so when her doctor came probably the Monday, it was at the weekend, on the Monday and see. I don't think the nurses do it much because I always blame to say something was wrong at the hospital, but I can't blame them because I don't know. I don't know. But she get worse in the hospital, and when doctor come then start put on drip on her and this and that. So when I went there to look for her and asked if she want water, she drank so much water. Drank so much water, and said, "But something wrong, man. Oh, she needs so much water," and then her, dehydrated. So that means that the nurse didn't give her the drip. Didn't give her the drip. I wait until the doctor to come to give her the drip. Probably it was too late. But she was there for a while. Actually turned vegetable after a while. Just lie there. Nothing, no talking, nothing at all. And
So how long was she in that vegetable state?
she was in hospital for 1 month. 1 month.
So question, like, you know, how did you guys manage, you know, finance wise, like how expensive was this bringing her to the clinic and doing blood transfusion, etc.? Like how was that?
And I'm not, it's not really expensive, you know, because those days you don't really pay anything. You just, you know, you don't pay anything. You just, only a bus fare you have to find and stuff like that.
So how about the blood
that's
transfusion?
no, luckily, my church, you know, my church gave me the whole 1 year worth of the blood,
Wow.
which was so grateful.
Wow.
Didn't have to get much people from to do this, do that. The blood, the church gave the 1 year worth of blood for her. And so that's where, you know.
So where were you when you got the news that, you know, she had passed away?
While she was in the hospital, I just, on Sabbath, where I used to go to church, so I took her to church, and I leave her there, and then I come to the hospital to look for her. And I remember one Sabbath when I went there, I comb one side of her hair, and I said, when I come back after lunch, I'll go comb the other side.
Because you come one side and left one side.
No, because she will look so sick. I didn't want to turn. I didn't want to trouble her.
Okay.
I didn't want to trouble her. But sometimes when I talk to her, she knows, she understand, because she squeeze her hand and she will squeeze her hand. But she just can't.
She just couldn't speak.
Yeah. And I said to myself, God will have to find a special miracle for her this trip, because it didn't look good for her. And we pray, the family pray. And we didn't see any good results. So I said, Lord, still Dad and I started to pray. Just take her. You know, because it was so, if she leave, she'd be in a vegetable state. And I said, Lord,
so you were
do the best.
You were praying that, you know, let God's will be done, like whatever would have been best for her.
Yes. At one point, I wanted her to get better. But when I see the inner stage where it look, although I'm not God, because God can do anything God can do. But when I look at it, I say, Lord, do the best. If you take her, I'll have to accept it, but do the best. Do what you think is best for her. And the said Sabbath, we went for lunch. Remember, we go to Aunt for lunch, and the call came in about 3 o'clock in the p.m. And she said she passed away. Wow. And she passed away. And we went to the hospital, and then we go to the morgue and look at her, and that's it. That's where it ends.
So, wow. What year was this?
1994. So she lived till she was 7 years old. So she didn't have much life. 7 years old she died. January 29th she passed away.
I guess just shortly after our birthday, because we were both born in January. So it was shortly after our birthday, and I was 5 at the time, so she's 2 years older than me, or she was 2 years older than me. I recall I was with my cousin, you know, you probably had went to, you know, look for her at the morgue or something. I don't recall, but I remember my cousin and I were in the car. And, you know, you're young, so you don't really understand death.
And my cousin said to me, so Karen, you gonna cry? And I said, I don't know. And then we were like, okay, let us try. Let us practice. You know?
So let us practice. And we're there trying to cry or trying to, you know, and trust me, I just not understand at the time. And there was a sadness, there was a, you know, because even mommy came home with the pillows from the hospital, it's like you can smell the hospital scent, you know, that kind of thing. And to this day, whenever I go into a hospital, I what do you call it now? When you start sweat and feel like you're gonna faint, and the word not coming to me, but every time I go in the hospital and I smell that scent, I just feel like I want to faint. I have to sit down. If I don't sit down, I go and knock out. So I remember smelling that scent, you know, and I remember us being, you know, just like, we're just us alone now, because before that he was living abroad for some time. So really and truly, he wasn't in Jamaica for a lot of these times. He was mostly abroad. So it was just really us. So persons might say, oh, I only hear you talk about mommy, you know, you don't talk about daddy. Or that might be true, but it's not deliberate. It's just because, you know, while growing up, it was just really me and mommy, and I visited daddy, you know, every summer, etc. But it was just really me and mommy. So we basically grew up now, without Casey being in the picture, we basically grew up like sisters. So it was just us. So, you know, it's not that daddy is not around. It's just that we had to be on each other because, you know, there was no more Casey, and so to speak. So yeah, and I can recall like it was like at my grandmother's funeral, years after that I actually cried. Years after, like cause her grave is by our family plot, and you know, we buried our grandmother. And when I saw her grave, let me tell you, every single thing, every memory, every pinch, everything from school days, everything just rushed straight back to me. And I was just crying uncontrollably. And I said, mommy, come here. And mommy was like, whoa, we're at the graveside, you know. And I just want to use her as one shield because I don't want nobody to see me a ball. So I remember that was when I let it all out. And I was in my adult years. Yeah, so the sad thing is that I lost a sister, mommy lost a child, and daddy lost a child. It's not an easy experience, and I'm sure a lot of persons have experienced loss in, maybe it's your child, maybe it's your father, parents, your immediate family, or just loss in general. And you know, we too can share in your pain because, you know, we've experienced it, and sickness is not something that is easy to deal with. Yeah, but God knows best, and you know, life goes on, and we just live every day and try to ensure that, you know, we hope to make it into heaven so that, you know, we can see our loved ones again.
Just this point to ladies or women out there, know your status, because if you have the trait or not, and make sure your partner, you know his status too, to see if he has the trait or not, because it's very crucial. Because once you both have the trait, you're gonna come, the child is gonna come with a sickle cell. So be careful of who you choose as your partner, because it's not gonna be easy. It's not easy to lose a child. So I always tell Karen, make sure you're choosing someone, but don't choose anybody with a sickle cell, because it runs in your family. So don't come with it. No, choose anybody with a sickle cell, because you might end up have the same problem. I said, don't do it. Just make sure who you choose don't have the sickle cell, because it's so prevalent in Jamaica. Be careful who you choose as partner, because losing a child, not easy. So, ladies.
So yeah, say ladies alone.
Men also, be careful to choose a partner. Because anyone.
That's why they always said, make sure go to the doctor, both of you. Take a blood test and see where both of you at.
You know, it's interesting you say that, because it's like, if I'm if I'm going to talk to somebody, my first question is,
You have sickle cell, and honestly, it's just so, it's so weird to do, but you have to do it. You know, coming from a family of sickle cell, you know, people, inherited people, or sickle cell people, you have to do it. You have to ask these questions. So most times I'm gonna ask, you know, whatever, and you know, so that the person don't take no offense to it. And a lot of times people don't know. A lot of times people don't know.
oh, I forgot to mention, I'm actually one of the lucky ones because I am actually normal.
So me blessed and highly favored. Praise Jesus. So far as we know, I am normal. I am AA. Best thing is to, as mommy said, try do with somebody who not have it, or probably, yeah, who not have it. That's the safest thing, you know. Yeah, you just don't want to lose a child to that. So yeah, guys, I guess that's it. Anything else you want to say? You want to tell the people tell them to subscribe, not tell them to like the video, watch and subscribe, tell them.
Please like the video, subscribe, and watch. Very informative, and don't let what happened to me happen to you. Just listen, because it's very, it's deadly. Just like cancer, it's deadly, and you can grow to a certain age, all 20, 30, and you die just the same because of this sickle cell. There are times luckily my daughter didn't have the pain, as some people have the pain. Every month you're in the hospital, you see people with the pain. So you have to be careful. Ladies and men, just be careful. Choose a partner wisely. And God bless every one of you out there. Thanks.
Okay, well said, Mama Bear. Thank you so much for coming onto my channel. Thank you guys again for watching, and please, I want you to leave in the comment section, like, do you suffer from sickle cell? You know, how do you feel? Like, what are your ailments? You know, just comment and on the topic and share your thoughts, because a lot of persons read the comments and they can actually see, you know, what's going on, etc. So yeah, thanks again, and do have a good one. Bye.